applied for computer engineering.
Hi everyone, good morning.
Hi, bro.
Hi, my name is Rama everyone, and I'm a current student at University of Dayton, and I represent the Indian Student Association here. So I'm here today to answer a few of the questions that I got from most of the incoming students, and I'll share it with you guys. So once I share whatever details I have, any of the questions if you guys have, you can ask it. Okay, I'll let you know when to start the Q&A. Okay, cool. So one important thing today that I would like to cover is regarding the vaccination. Okay, so UD has not mandate or did not inform all the students to get vaccinated. So it's not a mandatory thing here. So it's up to you guys whether to get vaccinated or not. But UD has raised up a challenge called immunity in the community that says if 70% of our students are vaccinated, we are going live or we are going to on-campus classes starting this fall. A few of you guys asked me whether the coming fall is going to be online or offline. So this is the criteria that we have. And so far, we don't have any information about what you guys can do if you guys are back in India and your visas are not yet approved, like whether you guys can join online classes or not. So no details as of now, but most probably UD is looking at on-campus classes starting fall. Okay, and coming to another vaccination, like immunization forms that you guys receive along with your I-20s. So during my time when I was coming to UD, so they said we need to have a MMR vaccine along with a TB test, a negative TB test. So you'll have a FERPA form, a FERPA form, wherein you need to get that signed and get those vaccinations at your country in India, and you can show that after you arrive in here. So even that is not mandatory. You can have it in India and in US as well. But I would suggest you guys better get it in India so you don't face any problems after you're here. So regarding insurance, so UD provides an insurance for the incoming students that costs around $2,000. So this amount that's initially collected from you guys before you receive your I-20s, they call it as a deposit amount. So the deposit amount that you guys pay is converted into insurance fee after you are here. The $2,000 amount that you guys have been paying as a deposit amount. And a few of you asked me if you guys can get private insurance in here. Yes, you guys can get that. There's some criteria that UD has mentioned in the website that all of the points needs to be covered for you guys to have that insurance and for UD to accept that insurance. Most of our Indian students, we get the insurance that UD has provided in the first term throughout your entire first year, and then after you guys are here, the second year they change it to a private insurance. Private insurance for me it costs around $180 for 3 months, so it's more or less around $600 to $800 per year. That's a drastic change from the $2,000 that you're paying in the first year. But I would suggest not to end up with some troubles or something. Better go with the insurance that university is providing for the first year, and you guys can decide on what you want to do for the second semester. I mean, from the second year on. And another important topic here is regarding scholarship and the student behavior. So most of you guys might have been here through consultancy. So the scholarship, you guys can directly email to the UD admission department and inquire about what kind of scholarships that UD is providing. There's no wrong in asking about scholarship, and if UD grants you something, well and good. If not, you guys can even talk to your consultants who are having direct tie-ups with university. Even they can provide you some scholarship with that. Okay, regarding prerequisites. So some of you have texted me asking, do we have any prerequisites into, this is about specific to computer science department. So they asked me, do we need to fulfill any prerequisites for students who are joining from non-CS departments to CS departments? I myself come from EC department. I've joined UD into computer science master. So there is no specific prerequisite that you guys need to fulfill. There's one math evaluation form that they'll give it to you before you submit all your docs. I mean, along with your documents. Okay. So in that, we just need to sign in and send that whatever the information that's, I mean, whatever the questions or what are the level of questions that are in there, we are able to understand it. Okay. And after you guys arrive here, after you guys join here and start your registration for your classes, not every subject that is available, you will be able to take it in your first semester. So you guys need to select your subjects accordingly. So I'll give you an example in computer science. So think of a subject, we have deep learning advanced intelligence. So to fulfill or to take up this course, you guys need to have a prerequisite course like image processing and advanced computer vision. Okay, so these are the kind of prerequisites that you'll have a clear information once you start your registration process. During your first semester, you'll have a programming language, one of that, and then you'll have a database class. So once you start taking up these classes in the first semester, you will eventually have chances to select higher classes during your next semesters. uh, I'm not much aware of mechanical and civil departments, but you guys can always reach out to university contact that I'll be sharing in the chat soon. And some of you guys have asked me how to divide the subjects for 2 years. It's completely individual basis. We guys need to clear 10 subjects. Each subject is around 3 credits. So 30 credits is what we need to fulfill to gain our masters. Okay, so during my batch, people used to select 2 to 3 classes, 2 to 3 subjects for each semester, and then most of my batch students have tried to complete their masters in 1.5 years. So even there's one more thing, there's no specific or fixed timeline that you guys need to study for entire 2 years to finish your masters. It's excuse me. Okay, cool. I'll continue. So it's that you need to finish all your 30 credits to attain your master's. That's the only criteria. And I have a friend of mine who even finished his grad in like 1 year. So he took like 3, 4, and 3 subjects in semester wise, and then he finished it. And regarding the fees, so fees is not based on each semester. Fees is based on the number of credits that you take for each semester. I've talked about a fee structure. I broke down the fee structure a couple of times, and I'm repeating that again. Each credit is around $1,025 or $1,015, and for each subject we'll have 3 credits. So 3 into 1,000, around 3,000. And based on how many subjects you take, that is the fees that you guys need to pay for a semester. Okay, more number of subjects you take, the price increases. It's not that you guys have a specific amount of fee in your I-20 site for 9 months and for 12 months. So it doesn't count like that. They give a generic amount in there, but how much ever fees you're supposed to pay is entirely dependent upon the number of subjects you pick. And congratulations to few of the people who have already acquired their visas. And you guys have been asking me about accommodations and which airport, which is the nearest airport and all. So first thing with the airport, we have Dayton International Airport at Dayton. That's around 30 minutes from our college and nearby our housing areas. And we have another airport at Cincinnati, CVG. That's 1 hour distance from UD. And before you guys arrive here, university provides you some links wherein you guys can book your cabs. Like you guys can give them your I mean, whenever you're arriving, your arrival time, date, and all, and they'll make sure someone is present there to pick you up. If not, the Indian Student Association team is always here for you guys. So you guys can reach out in the teams through our WhatsApp or Facebook or Instagram and let us know when you're arriving. So if college isn't available or you guys don't get any proper or on-time information from university, we are there for you guys. So you need not worry about that. And some of you guys in the group asked me about the things to pack. So guys, watch a couple of videos on YouTube. You have a lot of information there. And if you ask me, I would say get all the required forms, the documents that you guys need, and your personal stuff that yeah, you guys don't get in here, like medicines or stuff. You guys need to have a detailed prescription for every medicine that you carry. And yeah, moreover, we have a lot of Indian stores in and around Dayton. So you need not worry what you're gonna eat or like what you're gonna get in here. So we are chill in that part. Okay, that's all. These are the points that I received from the group, and I guess I covered most of them. If not, yeah, we can always talk. I'll start the Q&A. So please go ahead, ask one by one. I have a couple of members from my team here. I have Hariharan, who is our chief organizer for Indian Student Association. Hi, Hari.
Hi, Rama. Hi, everyone. Yeah.
Please go ahead, ask your questions, guys.
Hi, Rama. Vaishak here from Bangalore.
Yeah, hi, Vaishak.
So I have a question regarding the online classes. Is there any news about that this semester, because the visas are getting delayed? That's why.
Okay, information about conflict.
Not consulate. The online classes are there for this fall semester 2021. Is there any online classes?
Okay, so you're asking if we guys have any online classes. We're not sure as of now, brother. We'll have this communication from college directly to all the students. What I can say, UD is aiming for in class for fall. So if you guys have a fall admit and you guys are not able to make it on time, I think UD might ask you guys to defer your admit for the next spring. This is not a sure information, but you guys will have information shown soon, like when you get close to your start of the semester.
Okay. And one more question regarding the start date. It's like the orientation date is on August 9th. So if we get a visa around July end, so is there any time gap which they allow maybe 20 days later orientation, they can just come and check in your day or something like that? So that what is the timeline? Maybe what is the deadline?
Okay, so we have a small confusion here regarding the start date. Most of you guys have it as August 17th, and most of you guys have as August 9th. So I'm not sure. I have a calendar here. Let me share it with you guys. Okay, can you guys see the screen that I'm sharing?
Yes.
Okay, so it says Monday, August 9th is when your degree confirm. Like, see if you see here, new students welcome weekend is on August 20. Okay, irrespective of when your orientation starts or when the start of your class is, you guys can always email the university. You guys can always say your status, like when are you supposed to arrive, or when did your visa has approved, or you guys got time or not. So based on the response from the university, you guys can even start late. There are cases when my batch students arrived here, there are a couple of students who came even after the start date. So for this to happen, you guys need to have a confirmation email or a letter from university. This will help you guys even in the during the time of your travel near immigration departments.
Yeah. So it's like I just got to know that because we are not sure about the online classes here. So we'll just wait for July what the consulates told to, because and Dayton also in a seminar which they held last month, I think they told that they'll be confirming in July.
Yeah.
And is there one last question is that is there any problem in coming in spring because some of the people tell that it's because we don't get internship opportunities for 2 times. Is there a there's a big confusion over there? Like, is there any problem if we defer it by spring 2022?
Yeah, you can always defer your admit. It's on your timeline, right? If you want to study this fall, you make sure all the things are wrapped up and all are ready before you start for this fall. If you want to start it by Jan next year, that's up to you. And regarding the internships, internships and all stuff, these are completely based on individual performances and individual skill set. If you guys are applying beforehand, or if you guys are applying to a lot of companies, there are more chances for you guys to get an internship. So I myself had an internship. So it's not a big deal. It's not based on the university that you'll be gaining internship. It's completely individual basis.
Okay, it doesn't come with for the spring intake.
No, it's not on the intake.
Okay, because there are so many rumors. You can just say saying that we have to stay there for 9 months and later on, because when we complete the 9 months in for the OPT, it will be around Feb or March in US.
Okay, so I'll say, yeah, there are some rules in here for you guys to start working and start earning with your internships. That would be after you successfully complete your 2 semesters. You guys can't come start your semester in fall and right away start your internships.
Okay, so there's nothing wrong in coming and attending an internship. So there's no,
there's nothing wrong. You can have your offer, but you can't start working right away.
Okay, so people in spring also do internships like the fall.
Yes. I'm a spring batch student only, so that's fine.
Okay.
So Vaishak, let's give chance to others. See if we have any other doubts. You have any more doubts, please, I'll share my contact details. Text me, okay? Because this is a half-an-hour meeting.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, we are halfway through already. Okay. Nikhil, go ahead.
Yeah, hi Rama.
Hi.
Yeah, actually my doubt was, but we can work in the part-time at the university, right?
Yes, sir. We guys do have on-campus jobs, part-times. So that will be around 20 hours, not more than that, to be legally bound. So you can work for 20 hours a week.
Great. And also the TAL list, which is being a nightmare for me. I am from a computer engineering background. So
what is that? Please state that again.
TAL, Technology Alert List.
Technology Alert List. Okay, I haven't heard of it.
So actually they are issuing 221G slips for the students which are applying for the courses which are under the TAL. For example, I am from ECE. So, and I've heard that you are from ECE too. So
yes,
under embedded systems, we have sensors and other stuff too, right?
Yes.
So that thing comes under technological alert list, TAL. So
okay, we used to call it the STEM courses when I was arriving here.
No,
like
STEM
all the computer science, electronical, these things come under STEM departments here.
Yeah, I get it, but technological TAL is something different, man, brother. So can I send you a PDF regarding that?
Sure. Share it in the group. Okay.
Sure.
So what is your concern regarding TAL? Like what you want to know from me?
So they are issuing this 221G if there is something related to the sensors and all. So how do I escape from that?
Okay. So for now, honestly speaking, I have no idea about that, brother. Like, let me talk to a couple of my seniors too, and let me get back to you on this. Okay. I have your contact, so I'll let you know.
Sure.
Okay. 1 second. Hari, do you have any idea about TAL?
No, Rama, but actually his question is like, I didn't understand, like, why they are giving 221G? On what basis? Like, I think 221G is
These,
given for incomplete documents.
uh, even I am not fully sure why they are issuing this, but the technology which comes under this list, so basically they are saying for some kind of terrorism and all. Even I am not 100% sure what it is.
Okay, so let's not give out any comments on this, as we all are not aware of it. Let's do more research, and in the coming days, let's see if we can get on a call or something regarding this. Okay, cool.
Sure, sure.
I can't see any raised hands, so if that is all,
Yeah, Rama, Uday raised a question, like he messaged in the chat.
okay.
When is the start date and orientation?
So start date, these details are provided in your I-20s. So as per what I see on my screen, like a calendar from University of Dayton website, that says new student welcome weekend is on August 22nd.
Hello.
Yes, hi.
Hello. Hi, I'm Pranay Bharadwaj from Hyderabad.
Hi, Pranay.
Yeah, I've just got a doubt about the deadline which was issued for me along with the fee receipt, right? Along with the I-20. They've told me that to pay the first semester fees, the deadline is on July 26th.
Okay.
So will it be fine if I come there and then pay the fee? I'll be coming there by about August 15th. I'm planning a window because my visa slot I booked it. I got it scheduled on August 5th.
Okay,
So
so
do I
you
have
say
to pay
the
anything
deadline
which
for your
is
fees on
extra?
26th July, and you're going to arrive in August, right? So I would
Yeah.
suggest you send an email to university saying that your visa has not been scheduled yet,
Okay.
and you're not ready to pay the
Okay.
entire fee of the first semester before arriving. Yeah, university will have a proper response for you
Okay.
guys. Okay, I myself paid my fees once my visa has been approved.
Okay.
Okay.
So will there be any problem after I reach there and pay it?
I'm not sure. It's not what I heard. Like there'll be a specific timeline for you to start your payments. Like even if you are not able to pay the entire fee, you can always contact the university saying that I'll pay my so much amount of fee before I'm here, and then I'll pay the rest of the fee after I arrive in US. So there are a lot of possibilities in there. So what happens after you arrive in here? Okay, so there'll be a fixed deadline or after the start of the semester. Like, see, your fall semester starts in August, right? So you guys can even pay your fee sometime in September, something like that. That's not for the incoming students. I'm not pretty sure because the case is completely different for incoming students. But once you arrive here, like the semester after semester that you guys go ahead, you guys can pay your fee accordingly. It's not mandatory that you always need to pay all your semester's fees before the start of the semester. We even have some flexible plans here at UD where you guys can pay fee in like a couple of installments. They'll charge you an additional $50, but you guys can pay fees monthly as well.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that's it.
Hi, bro. I'm Venkat.
Hi, Venkat.
What about banking there, and how can we transfer the money?
Okay, so most of the students after they arrive in US, they get a local bank account. So I have my account from Chase. So we have different nationalized banks like Chase, Fifth Third. So you guys can get an account in any of these banks, and you guys can always transfer your fee amount from your Indian local banks directly to the university. So that wouldn't be a problem. I paid my
But
second
it is
term fee from my Indian bank using
But
the Flywire
it
link.
is asking only credit card only or ICICI net banking.
Okay.
Then suppose if we want to pay $8,000, the
Mhm.
credit card limit is 2 or 3 lakhs, so that
Okay.
we cannot play, right?
You guys can see what I did in my first semester. I approached my bank manager. I told him the
Okay.
case, and he made sure that my payment was done. So you can always talk to your bank managers. They'll guide you accordingly. It's not that you need to only pay through your card. You can even pay through the banks. So there'll be
Okay.
some
And we
routing
can
numbers that transfers
can we
amount from India to USA, from INR to USD. So they'll help you out.
and can we pay by splitting,
What is
like
that?
splitting of amount, like 1,000, 1,500, 2,000
Okay,
by using Flywire?
any amount that you want to like do on your customized basis, like you wanna pay a specific amount, always
Okay.
contact the university, let them know your specific case, and
Okay.
whatever they'll suggest you, do accordingly.
Okay. And how about I-20 issuing? It's getting too late. I already speak with you. It's 25 days completed. Still, they are
Okay.
not replying to my mail also.
Okay. So you're asking about your I-20.
Yeah.
I-20s are completely based on, 1 second. Okay. Sorry for the disruption, guys.
Okay,
So you guys are asking me regarding your I-20, right? Like
Yeah.
it's been already 25 days and you didn't receive your I-20, right?
Yes, yes.
So there's an admission department who works on only this I-20s. You know Lara McGrath, who signed
Yeah, I
on
mailed
our
her also.
I-20s?
She's also not replying. It's
Okay,
more than
so
8 days completed.
okay, so
I mailed
one
her.
thing I can tell you, brother. So it's not based on me or my department, whatever the ISA that I'm talking about. We guys have no control on when or how your I-20s are sent, because we are also students like you guys. We received I-20s. If our I-20 is delayed, we even texted and emailed university. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
share a contact number with you on the chat. So
Yeah,
follow
you shared
accordingly.
me. Yeah, but they are also saying just mail to Miss Lara Martha something. They are
Yeah.
saying her name,
Okay.
but she is not responding. I'm still
I
waiting.
can't go and tell her to respond to you. So that's very clear. We guys need to wait for the response from her. That is the best thing that we can do.
But slots are very difficult to book, right? So I'm getting tension. It's more
Yeah.
than 25 days completed.
Yes, I understand. I understand your concern, brother. But without having an I-20, we can't do. See, we have enough of time. We had flexible amounts of time. If you are starting for fall, it's not. There's a specific timeline. Like if you guys can apply early, you might have
Yes.
not been in this position in the first place.
Can we apply emergency appointment by booking any slot rather than?
What do you mean?
Suppose if I got slot at September, can I book an emergency appointment?
In September, that would be too late for your fall
So
class.
that's
You
why
need to defer that
I'm
to-
booking. Can I have any chances of booking emergency appointment for slot?
You're
Emergency
asking
slots.
me if you have any chance to book emergency.
Yeah, emergency slots.
It's your individual basis, brother. Like you can book your
Okay.
slots.
Okay, normal slots are very difficult to get, right? So I'm asking this. Can we book like an emergency slot or not?
Yes, you can book. Like if you are not able to like get your visas on time before the
Okay.
start of the semester,
Okay.
like if that is the only chance that you have to book, go
Okay.
ahead with that. But I see some information on websites, embassy websites saying that please do not go for emergency visas.
Emergency. Yeah, yeah. I also
They are opening a lot
signed
of
Peters.
slots.
Okay. Okay, bro. Thank you.
Yep, cool. You're welcome. Any other questions, guys? Last few minutes for the meeting.
Hey Rama, sorry for being a bother. And my other doubt was any AMAP students you have any contact with who can share their visa experiences, because I'm really
What is that
concerned
again?
about that. AMAP students,
AMAP, okay.
the advanced, yeah, their visa experience.
I didn't get that. I wanted to please repeat that again.
Yeah, the AMAP students, the current AMAP students who there might be some AMAP students studying
Yes,
right
yes.
there.
There are a lot of students. We guys have our Facebook page. So please comment in there whatever the requirement you have, and if any of our current students respond to you guys, you can always contact them, ask your personal doubts, and they'll respond accordingly.
I tried that too, Rama, but there's no response from that side.
Even I tried posting the links for a lot of our teammates to join. So I can just
Yeah,
request
cool.
them. I
It's
can't just force them. And
Yeah, I
let
get
them
it.
know.
I get it. I
I
get it.
understand that.
Cool.
Cool.
Thanks.
I'll try again. I'll try if I can see one of my friends to share their experience. Hopefully that will help you guys.
Sure. Thanks.
Okay. So I'll end the meeting now, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Any doubts or any concerns that you guys have, always reach out to Indian
Hello?
Student Association pages on both Facebook and Instagram. We have our WhatsApp group,
Hello.
Summer and Fall.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello, I
brother.
have a last doubt. Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, so basically, do we have to pay the first SEM fees before the program start date?
Yes, for you to pay your fees, university will send you some deadline before which
Right,
you are supposed to pay your fees.
Okay.
If you have any other like deviation from that date, always reach out to University Admission Department saying this is the concern that I have, and this is the so and so date that I can or I would be able to pay the fees. And based on their reply, you can proceed accordingly. So it's not
Okay.
a hard and fast rule that you need to pay fees before an exact deadline. University is always flexible. Use that opportunity.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Thank
Yeah.
you for joining. I'll share this recording on YouTube, so whoever is not present here can always watch it and post your comments, post your doubts, anything that you have. Before you guys enter in here, we'll make sure we'll help at the best that we can. And thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Rama.